Omen podcast time.
That's right. Binford Tools is proud to present a Santa Claus's podcast. My name is Adam Young, my co-host Jordan. Hey, Jordan.
Hey, Adam. The face you just gave.
I started feeling really giggly during it, and I keep my camera on during the record because I no magic at the dinner table. I think it's going to be a little bit of both.
Yeah, something like that. Well, we're recording just after we saw each other for the first time in a long time, according to your recollections. I think you said 3 years, maybe?
Yeah.
So, do I look the same? Do I look different? Was I as cordial?
I mean, you definitely look older, for sure. No, lots to talk about, Jordan. We had Thanksgiving week last week, and we were, we took some time off from podcasting.
Naturally,
PTO.
Yeah.
It was paid, so that was cool.
By who?
Uncle Sam.
Uncle Sam,
baby.
oh, so generous.
Government subsidized podcasting. Hashtag starts now. No, yeah, it was great to see you. It was a good week. I went back to Michigan, and you were the first stop I made, Jordan. I said, I gotta see my old buddy and podcasting partner, Jordan.
Was it me, or was it the Stephen King books that I procured for you at the DeWitt Library?
Oh, you mean the Sweetener? Hey, those books were good, and I appreciate you picking those up for me. I think it expedited the trip. I was like, oh, okay, all right. So he's got these books, too, so it's like a 2-for-1. But no, of course, I was always going to make the trek.
Sealing the deal, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, it was a pleasure. I'm so glad that you came and stopped. And too short for my taste, but I know that's the way it goes when you've been driving all day and you got other things. And the real treat for me was I got to meet your wife, Sam, who's just lovely. And,
thank you so much.
And my kids
funny.
were very sad to see her go, too. She was having a good time with them.
Yeah, everybody got along really well. It was interesting that you said it was too short because we both got to the car and said, ooh, pretty long.
Yeah, we lingered longer than we wanted.
We're like, 10 minutes too long. No, it was nice. And, I just kept getting lost in your house. So big.
Yeah. You never even made it to the podcast studio.
I know, yeah. I mean, that whole wing of the house was being cleaned, so I couldn't go in there, and I just loved all the fountains and the marble statues. And,
what'd you think of the bust?
Tasteful, yeah.
Naturally, yeah.
No, it is a nice house, and I hadn't met your youngest child, and I think we hit it off pretty well. I don't know what he said, but I felt like it went pretty good.
He said a lot of things, but I'm not sure they were that coherent. So
unintelligible, yeah.
No. It was a good time, and then we had Thanksgiving was good for you. I guess
it was good. The Lions,
they didn't do so well, but that's right.
I don't think they recovered. They didn't recover any fumbles.
No,
necessarily.
They certainly did fumble.
Coughed some up, so that was kind of a letdown. But no, it was good. Had a smaller Thanksgiving, but good to be with family. And yours was probably a little bit bigger. It sounded like.
Well, as you said, I have a mansion, so I got to fill it up with people. So, we had... So
it was like 60, 70 people.
140, I think it was.
Okay.
But no.
Of your closest friends.
Yeah. Well, they say friends, but, see, sometimes you wonder about, are they my friends because of the money?
Sure. Yeah. Well, also, like, for you, you're so close to some of those people that they're more like family. So it's like 140 members of family.
Something like that. But yes, we had a full house and we had a good time, and the cousins all played together and food was good, and
Did you feel like you embodied your pumpkin pie persona?
I did eat a lot of pumpkin squares, which is like a cousin that my mom makes, and and then I also did get pumpkin pie delivered by my neighbor. So it all worked out well for me.
Wow.
And What was your favorite treat that you had Thanksgiving Day?
I don't know if it's like because I had resolved to enjoy stuffing.
Okay.
But everybody was asking before, like, what are you looking forward to? And I was like, stuffing. And then afterwards, I said, what'd you like the most? And I thought it was stuffing still.
Wow.
So yeah, unfortunately, my Uncle Randy came, and his only job was to get pumpkin pie, and
he
showed up with apple.
Oh,
showed up with apple.
Come on, Randy.
So, hey.
Family. You can't live with them. You can't live without them.
I know. I said I'm just gonna let this one go. They're getting older. I'm gonna let this one go. But no pumpkin pie for me this year. So that means it's gonna taste extra good next year.
There you go. That's a way to look at it. So maybe.
And Yeah, another thing I wanted to mention was I want to try to bring this up every episode this season. Is I was able to make it to Bronner's and Frankenmuth, Jordan. So
That's the only note I had for the show opening.
Yeah,
so.
yeah. I knew we were both going to get there eventually. So first episode, we talked about Bronner's and the days it might be closed. Second episode, you brought the research and you told us the days that were closed.
Yep.
Yeah, so third episode, I've actually now gone to Bronner's, shopped around, and so I want to talk about that.
I think you should, and I think at this point we probably should call them and ask them to sponsor us because we've mentioned them every episode.
I know, they're getting a lot of free publicity, and I know that this is leading to sales for them. I just know it.
I mean, how busy was it after the first 2 episodes where we mentioned them?
Jordan, it was insane, and it had nothing to do with the day that I went on Black Friday. It had everything to do with our podcast.
Black Friday? Oh my goodness.
I mean, it just happened to be Friday. I don't know what you want me to do.
It could have been any Friday, but here we are.
I only had so many days to do stuff. So I went to visit my brother, and then on the way back stopped at Bronner's because my wife had never been.
Wow.
And
what did she... I want to hear her take.
I think it was a little overwhelming.
Yeah, for sure.
We weren't in there that long because it was so crowded and just nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think it was just a lot. There was too many people. She probably would enjoy it more in like a July day when there's nobody there. But yeah, we shopped around. We ended up getting a little ornament. It's actually right here. I'm not gonna show the box because I'd have to scroll. I'd have to
move,
go back and get it. But I want you to believe that I did get an ornament.
I believe you.
Okay, great. So we got an ornament, and then we drove through Frankenmuth and stuff, and it's just a little cutesy kind of place.
Did you stop at the Caribbean place that has plantains?
No. When I think of Frankenmuth, I don't think of Caribbean. I think of Zenders and whatever else.
Well, yes, of course. But last time we were there, my wife stopped there. Okay. We were getting a quick lunch, and she couldn't have the old Mickey D's. So there was a Caribbean place right there, and they had plantains, which I had not had since I moved, and I had been trying to find everywhere. And so the most unlikely of places in Frankenmuth.
That is unlikely. Yeah, we went to a little diner outside of Frankenmuth before, it's like a diner car. You probably have driven by.
Is it by the zoo?
Yeah, it is by the zoo.
Yeah, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, so that's where we went. And that was good. I split a Reuben with my wife. I wasn't super. I'm not a big eater. No. I couldn't eat the whole thing. But yeah, then went to Frankenmuth. Yeah, hey, Frankenmuth, it's big. It was just a crazy day to go. But hey,
believe it or not, my wife was there yesterday.
I believe it. Yeah,
so there were a couple things she had to return to Bronner's. And took the time to go over there. And she said way less busy, way more enjoyable. Okay. So I guess the trick is just like, hey, go on a random Tuesday or Wednesday. Even if it's Christmas
Your wife
season.
is kind of bound and determined to be places at times I'm not, I'm noticing.
Yeah, it does seem that way.
It's kind of starting to feel sort of personal.
Yeah, it all goes back to that one time we tried to play a joke on her in a car, and it didn't work out.
I don't remember, but yeah, lots of jokes, lots of cars. So, otherwise, we went through the Upper Peninsula on the way back and stopped in Manistee for the night, and that was really nice. Felt very Christmassy and like a kickoff to the season. Lights were up. It was very festive. It kind of felt. Yeah, we went to a bar for dinner, and it was we saw people from earlier in the day that worked in the bookstore.
Oh.
And everybody was it felt like a Lifetime movie.
Yeah.
Everybody was kind of drinking a beer and it had that feel. And then we went home, we went to the hotel, turned on the TV, and watched a Lifetime movie, Lifetime Christmas movie specifically. Only later did I find out it was the premiere of the movie. It was the first that it had ever shown. It starred Terry Hatcher and... I'm thinking it was a chalet Christmas or something like that along those lines.
Yeah, it's gotta be. Wow.
Yeah. It was, So a lot of commercials.
People probably have a lot of commercials, of course. People probably have some opinions on Lifetime versus Hallmark movies, but I can't wade in those waters, so I'm not going to.
Yeah. Well, I enjoyed this one. It was... I'll just say everything worked out in the end. I don't want to spoil it, but everything did kind of work out in the end. So it was
you
nice.
could say that about every Lifetime or Hallmark movie ever, but
it was touch and go. And then, with 10 minutes to go, it was
oh no,
man,
things had fallen apart. Yeah, how could they ever, reconcile or whatever? But
there was some plot threads I think they definitely left hanging a little bit.
Well, they gotta write another one soon, right?
You're right. There will be that. I'll save that for the squeakquel, Elf and the Chipmunks. But yeah, hey, great Thanksgiving. Good to be in Michigan, and hey,
Christmas season in full swing, which leads us here, right?
Yeah, it's Christmas in full swing, and I think kind of with all of that in mind, a lot of people think of Santa Claus as being sort of an older, sort of wiser figure, and another figure that I go to for wisdom is Tim Allen. So let's go ahead and cue those grunts.
Sure, it's all safe to me. Oh. Ah! Oh, no. Oh, yeah.
Now it's time for Bits of Wisdom. Prison food sucks. Big surprise. One reason is that they road test food on you. Hormel had some sort of magic meat they wanted to supply the army, but they wanted to let us lucky prisoners try it first. It was some soy-based thing. I don't think the army ever really bought any, so they turned it either into cat food or laundry product. To be honest, I liked it, especially the heavy barbecue taste. I could have been eating erasers for all I knew. This has been your bit of wisdom.
Wow. That's something we never really touched on was his prison time. We spent a lot of time on that during the podcast.
What's there to say?
That people don't already know.
Yeah, I'm wondering, if we went back, or if I went back and listened, how many of these bits of wisdom have I used before?
I don't think I remember any of them so far.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, because I'm really having to, pick around some, I don't know, some paragraphs about women I just don't want to read, frankly. So it's making me really do some research.
Safe choice.
Yeah, in these turbulent times, Jordan. I mean, the last thing Home and Podcast needs is to get canceled,
It might be the only thing we need, honestly.
You're right. Yeah, maybe I would shut off the mics for good. Oh, boy.
Instead, we're not going to be canceled. We're going to talk about No Magic at the Dinner Table. This is written by Camille Petrau and Eugene Garcia Cross. They both have done multiple episodes, I think.
Two of the greats.
Yeah, from the first season as well. Directed by Katie Locke O'Brien, who did the final 2 episodes last season, and this is going to be the first of the 2 that she'll do for this season. She did do the 1 episode that we really liked in season 1, so, I had high hopes. But we'll talk about how we felt about this one. This one aired November 15th, 2023. And with that, let's jump into alternative titles. How many you got?
Oh boy. 1, 2, 3, 4. I actually have 6.
Okay, I got 4.
Okay, that's an average of 5.
Yeah.
I'll start. A Betty-less brunch.
Did feel her absence, didn't you?
A couple people absent in this one. It's like, what's going on?
Yeah. Well, how about All Riley'd Up?
I used that last week.
Did you? Well, yes. I liked it so much that I thought it should be here.
I really did.
I promise, Adam, I listened to you. I promise.
Yeah. All Riley'd Up right here on last week's notes.
All Riley'd Up right. Part 2.
All right, fine. Wow. I mean, this is a low. My next one, All Riley'd Up. No, never mind. All hopped up on Christmas magic.
Sure. Yeah. Hop. I got a rabbit one for you.
Yeah.
A harebrained scheme.
Yeah, okay. How about Where My Peeps At?
They are missing from this episode. How about How Magnus Antis got his groove back?
You've done that so many times.
I know.
With so many people. Oh my gosh.
I had to do it again.
That's like your trademark.
That's my go-to. There was another one. I don't remember what it was, but I for sure have used it 3 times.
Mo blank, mo problems.
But I didn't end up using it. I thought one of those repeats was enough. So
that's like my old ones where it would be like, "Hey, character name blank,"
Yes.
All right. Nightmare at 30,000 feet.
Yeah, I suppose so.
Yeah.
Twilight Zone, baby. All right, this is one of my favorite Christmas movies, or an homage to it. So, The Witch Who Came to Dinner.
Okay, and what's...
it's called the Man Who Came to Dinner with Monty Woolley. It's a good one. Betty Davis as well. TCM classic.
She's got better Davis eyes. Excuse me?
Seamless transition from the Betty Davis Eyes song.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And you got one more?
Are you out?
Yeah, I'm all out.
Yeah. It's a singing one. Let me make sure I got this. Signed, sealed, delivered. I'm your worst nightmare.
I have done that one as well, but I like the way that the cadence changed quite a bit.
I mean, I think the new benchmark is just not using ones that the other person has used within the last month.
It's
goal.
a low bar, and
Yeah,
I did not get over it this time, but that's all right.
That's okay. That's all right.
All right. Well, I suppose we should talk about this episode, and we might as well open in everyone's favorite place outside of Chicago, Santopolis. And we've got Mad Santa trying to summon his cane, but guess what? His magic hasn't come back yet. And then we also learn it's been 3 months. So they really they kind of threw that in there, but some time has passed.
This episode, there's another scene later where, like, things are just, like, this episode started really abruptly.
Yes.
Like, it just kind of felt like, did I miss an opening scene or something? Like, it's very, very abrupt. He's just, like, standing there shouting for his cane. I feel like they didn't necessarily have, like, clear beginnings and ends to episodes, so they're kind of just, I don't know. Because this arbitrary 3 months later thing, I guess they kind of have to every season move it back to the,
you gotta get to Christmas, so something has to happen to get you there, yeah.
But it was pretty jarring for sure.
Yeah. Yeah, Olga's fed up with Mad Santa trying over and over and just breaks the cane. I just wonder, like, he takes a lot from Olga. I kind of wonder what's going on.
I just in like the couple of minutes before we started recording, I typed in the title of the episode, No Magic at the Dinner Table, to get to IMDb, but I found a couple of like blog reviews of this episode.
Oh.
And they both reviews were positive on the show, this episode, and both of them cited the Mad Santa-Olga relationship as something they liked a lot.
Okay, so some weird AI is writing some stuff because no person believes that, right?
Just telling you what I read. I also found another podcast, like somebody did a podcast on it, but their episode was only 13 minutes, which might be something we think about doing with these episodes.
Who's playing checkers and who's playing chess, huh?
That's true. Yeah. That's true. So yeah, I thought that was interesting. Not so much that people like the show. I don't have. Anybody can like anything. I'm never surprised by that. Sure. But that they would both call out the what I think to be the worst part of the show, which is Olga, Mad Santa.
Everyone knows that it's Kyle and Carol who are the real power couple.
Kyle and Carol, yes, indeed. Yeah, we'll get to that.
All right. Time.
North Pole. Very brief Noel appearance here at the beginning. He's hosting the clauses for brunch. Betty is not, she's on her
cribble.
Yeah, I guess at this point I'm kind of assuming that she was not available to film much this season.
Because I don't really understand it otherwise. Yeah.
Because they're not showing anything that's happening to her in real life. She's really only been in like...
She had that 3-second scene last episode, right? So yeah, to your point, seems like she had other things going on, which, good on her.
Yeah, I wouldn't blame anyone for not
she
wanting
saw
to be
the
in the second season
wall.
of the Santa Claus's TV show. I mean, Pontoon did the same damn thing.
Oh, Pontoon got out skate-free, too.
Pontoon got out. She's in the new Jack Reacher. I don't know. So, yeah, it's kind of an awkward brunch. Betty's gone. We get an update. It's basically like the first couple scenes are like, hey, it's 3 months later, but not that much has changed.
Yeah, just been working on the same stuff we were last episode.
Exactly.
And nothing has changed.
Yeah. So Carol's made no real cracks in the nutcracker case. Good alternative.
Yeah, where was that?
Yeah, I don't know. Too busy with Signed, Sealed, Delivered. I'm your worst nightmare. Cal is continuing he's passing out on the sleigh, kind of doing a bad job. They sort of quickly cut to Cal practicing on the sleigh. And I did get a laugh here. He's like, because he's doing it and the elves are acting as reindeer, which was kind of strange. But I thought this guy throwing fake snow
I like that too.
Cal,
with like a deadpan face. Yeah.
It was the face that did it for me.
It was good.
Yeah, that's funny. And that's what I think I mentioned last episode where I wish the show would be funny and not clever. Yep. Like, there's nothing clever about it. It's just funny because of the face the person's making.
Yeah. There were a couple moments in this episode where I chuckled.
I'll just go ahead and say that this was, I'm not going to say a market improvement, but this was better than the previous episode.
Sure.
So I felt generally more positive. What else do we have here? He eventually passes out, Cal, again.
And he's not like, they're on the ground in a room. They're not even at 30,000 feet, and that's where your title came from.
I'm beginning to think I don't know if he's going to make a good Santa Claus, Jordan.
Yeah.
I have my doubts.
I think you're onto something there.
Yeah, I have my doubts.
Yeah, I call you Nostradamus. Carol goes to see Sandra, and Sandra is practicing how to tune out animals. She's got those fluffy, earmuffs that she's been wearing a couple times this season, and is tuning everything out. Sandra has been practicing a lot with La Befana, and Carol is jealous. We're going to get that a lot in this episode, but just very briefly in this scene. So that's about it. We quickly move to Santopolis, where we get the power couple of Mad Santa and Olga.
Best part of the show, according to two bloggers.
Yeah, and so far in this episode, we're not going to see Betty. We see Noel for like 2 seconds, and they mention that Chris is out bargain hunting. But guess what? He didn't even bring his crossbow, which...
So what's the situation with Mad Santa and Olga? They're just like living with this guy for like 5 months.
Just lingering. But that line did get a laugh from me, so it was worth it.
Say the line again.
Chris is bargain hunting, but he didn't even bring a crossbow. Because Mad Santa doesn't understand what bargain hunting is.
Okay. Yeah,
I enjoyed
it. That one, did you? Okay,
I enjoyed it.
The show has set itself so low that we have to chuckle at such things, I suppose.
Here's where something magical happens. Are you ready?
I am, because I saw the trivia.
Yeah. So they go to get some hot chocolates to start thinking through some of the plight that they're going through. And who is there but none other than the elf Judy from the original Santa Claus film, played by Paige Tamanda. I hope I said that right. But I would not have recognized her without the trivia. So good on people for doing that. She gets a little bit more play than you would expect from someone in this role. So
I guess some dialogue and jokes and stuff. Yeah, I didn't pick up on it either. That's nice. Yeah, more. I think they should continue to do more of that stuff, because the new stuff they're doing on the show isn't very interesting.
Yeah, you did ask if we would get any more of these callbacks, and here we are. So she says something about magic, which North Pole magic.
Rideshare, too.
Well, before that, she says something about North Pole magic, which gives him an idea that we need to get North Pole magic, which is, I guess, what got him out of the Nutcracker to begin with. And how do people get around here? They ask, and she says rideshare, which no one actually says out loud because...
I was going to say rideshare is not... I guess they can't say Uber.
Yeah, they can't say that, so they're going to say rideshare. But that's how we get around nowadays, right?
Everybody does rideshare. I don't know anyone who owns a car.
No.
I rideshared to see you, and then I rideshared
to Manistee.
To my parents. Yeah, it's great. It was really cheap. So this whole thing about Mad Santa all of a sudden needing the hot cocoa, the reference to the magic regarding the hot cocoa, the Christmas magic, all of a sudden that causes an epiphany, like, hey, I should use Christmas magic to get to the North Pole.
Well, the magic will help him get his magic back. If he encounters some sort of North Pole magic, it's going to...
And I'm not going to argue about this, because it's all made up, but I'm just saying it took him 4 months to get to this, to have that realization. That he needed magic? He's Santa.
He's stuck back in the 13th or the 14th century, or whatever century, 14th century. Yeah.
You know what I could use to get to the North Pole? Yeah, no shit, man. Come on, Lordy.
Well, they're also in the next scene trying to hail a car with a goat. So I don't know.
Yeah, and they see an Easter billboard. You know those billboards you see for Easter?
All the time, constantly. Yeah. I just went outside my window right now.
I mean, I am seeing commercials for Jesus when I watch football on Sundays.
He does get us. So.
He does. He gets us.com.
He gets us
another sponsor.
We're getting interesting sponsors this year.
I know they're all pseudo-religious. So.
It's fair enough. It's a Christmas season, so it makes sense. Yeah. So
is this part? Is this part of our generosity movement?
Always. It's always.
Had to check.
You wouldn't know because you're not the generous one, but yeah.
Right.
North Pole. Santa is there. Carol is dressed up. He says like Alice Cooper, so she's got some pretty.
She looks like goth.
A little, some hard rock type stuff going on. Trying to appeal. I guess that's supposed to be like a witch. I don't know. That didn't really make a whole lot of sense to me. But
I'd say it's more Ronnie from Home Improvement than
She forgot who her kid was, and anyways, Scott kind of sets her straight, but he also shares a story about his sister who spent time with his Aunt Tina because the jealousy going on instead of the mom. But it wasn't a real helpful story, so I don't know.
I kind of thought that was funny.
Yeah, 0 for 1, this one, Scott. Yeah. Sorry.
It is also like the story is just sort of in the end his sister liked his aunt more than her mom, essentially.
Yeah, didn't work out so well. She's like, is this supposed to help? Does not.
It didn't help. All right, so we jump, and I say jump to this Santopolis
we definitely hop.
This is so, I feel like this part felt so choppy to me. All of the sudden, they're in a location, I don't really know what it is, and she's holding a sack. Like, everything...
They're back at Santopolis, I think.
Yeah, I don't know. It just felt very choppy, and it was sort of jarring to me. Like, I felt like, again, like I had missed something.
Yeah, and that short scene where they saw the Easter, billboard, he gives Olga a job to do, and this is the job. Yeah. But, it's so quick that, to your point, of course she might miss it. That they barely even linger on it for a second. So, yeah. What's Olga's job?
It's she's gonna capture the Easter Bunny, and he's in a bag, and it pops out, and the Easter Bunny is none other than Tracy Morgan. Jordan,
we've sunk to new lows for Tracy Morgan.
Yeah, I guess he has. Tracy Morgan, 67 credits to his name, best known for 30 Rock, 138 episodes. Looks like 142 episodes of Saturday Night Live. The movie Cop Out. He's just around. He stand up and so on. I guess this is his only episode of the show, Santa Clauses.
It's probably better for him.
Probably better for him.
Yeah, tough to be in this position as an Easter Bunny.
Are you a Tracy Morgan fan?
I don't mind him. I wasn't a big 30 Rock fan.
Me neither. Yeah,
but he always delivered.
I used to like him on SNL, Brian Fellow and Astronaut Jones, and so he had some good stuff going on. But this I don't know. This is kind of a cameo, or just I don't even know if it's a cameo, but this is lacks dignity. I'd say him in this role, kind of a tough watch,
especially when he's a couple scenes here when he's dropping bunny bombs, I guess we'll call it. I don't know.
Jokes. Yeah, that was really tough. That won't be in his obituary that he was in this one. Let's just say that. Also, so Tracy Morgan has obviously a distinct way of talking and kind of part of what made him famous, I think. But the teeth seem to not fit right, or he's doing a voice because he really sounds even stranger.
Yeah, it sounds like there's something in his mouth or something. Yeah, it's very messed up. But yeah, I think it's because he's got a weird little bunny face. So here we are.
Yeah. We cut very quickly to Sandra training with La Befana. That's just a very short scene. I don't have any other notes on that.
Yeah, she sees a transformation spell, which La Befana says, this is too dangerous for you. And we do also see here La Befana make a mistake with the spell. So they're planting a couple things that are going to come back later at the end of the episode, but briefly.
Very briefly. Then we cut back to Santopolis, and they start with a flashback that I thought was going to be more substantial than it was. It's just a really quick flashback. I don't even what even happens in it.
Well, they mentioned that the Easter Bunny and Mad Santa were friends. So they go back to those days, and they're singing at a bar together, singing a song. So they were friends. They quickly moved back, and we learned that not only were the elves betraying Mad Santa, but the legendary figures were also teamed up with them. So then they have some conversation about is a phrase sly like a fox or sly like a bunny, which was real.
It goes on for a long time. It's it's actually sly with the fox. No, it's sly like a bunny, and they do it 4 times. So by the 4th time, I'm really laughing,
chuckling. The Easter Bunny will not help them and calls him Mad Santa, which only we're allowed to do, I guess.
Evidently.
Yeah. He snaps.
What's this peeps thing?
Well, it's an Easter thing, right?
Yeah, but what's... what?
I don't know how Mad Santa knows about the peeps, but...
Well, there's that side of the equation, but also just, he gives him a bunch of peeps, or, that's supposed to be, a threatening move, presenting him with a bunch of peeps. Is that, are you doing, a cannibalism thing, or what's the...
I think it's the idea that peeps taste so terrible, and he's going to make him gorge on them until he can't, kind of like the Trunchbull, but instead of cake, you put something terrible there.
Second Trunchbull reference this season, too. I love the threads we're putting down throughout these. I don't like peeps, but I didn't know that everybody thought they were bad.
Yeah, I think it's kind of like a candy corn situation.
But I like candy corn.
I know, but you're in the minority.
All right, fine.
North Pole again.
NP. Sandra asks Cal if he wants to be Santa even. That was my note.
We do get some notes here. Cal feels like he's a disappointment to Dad. Yeah.
He is.
Yeah, it's because he is.
He's done a bad job.
Sandra does kind of open his eyes a little bit. You're doing the Santa thing for everyone but yourself. Think about you, Cal. Goodness.
Yeah, you're right.
Think about Riley.
He's going to be thinking a lot about Riley in the coming weeks because things aren't good.
No.
Cut back to Carol and Gary talking the Nutcracker case.
Did I call him Kyle? Is that his real name?
You did call him Kyle, and I didn't know what you were talking about, so I was
So you moved past it. I'm gonna look this up real quick. You keep going.
His name is Kyle. Yeah.
Okay, good. I know him.
Well, you feel so close to him.
Yeah,
his name is Liam Kyle. So
yeah,
actually, you're
so
like
we have names for
buddies.
each other.
Lions, Kyle. Okay.
All right. Anyways, the dynamic duo is back. Yes, of course.
The dynamic duo is back. Carol wants to see Kyle's cameras that he set on La Befana's house, but Scott kind of busts her. That's all I got.
Yeah, he says, let's have dinner with her instead. This
is a big dinner episode.
Lots of dinner, lots of food. We also learned that nobody ever told Gary that they loved him. So,
Except for you, every episode now.
trying to make up for lost time with Gary. Here we are.
Is this an alternative title that you would have liked? La Buffet with La Befana.
I would have. I tried to think of a dinner one with her, and it did not work out. So, real quick, let's go to Santopolis after stuffing the bunny with Peeps. And
these scenes are like 10 seconds long. I swear. This show
I can
drives
barely
me
write a
nuts.
sentence. Yeah.
It's so choppy.
So the Easter bunny pops out an Easter egg.
Glee! What was this?
Very, very distinguished moment for Tracy Morgan here, and he uses as some kind of tear gas of sorts and escapes. So here we are.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
and he's gone.
It's a huge egg.
Yeah,
and this had nothing to do with the Peeps, right?
It had all to do with the Peeps. That's what pushed it out.
But Santa actually, he plotted his own demise.
Yeah, the Easter bunny is sly like a fox.
I think it's a bunny. Oh no! Weaponized eggs. Yay! All right. What am I watching? That's a good note. That's what I had.
That is the truth. We write it down at least once an episode.
I want you to look at these notes that I take just so that you know how, invested I am.
I gotta say,
it's a lot.
It's a mistake.
It's thorough, and I still don't
You still question many things.
Yeah, I question a lot. North Pole. This is dinner with La Befana, which is like, where's our invite?
Yeah, if you're inviting her, we should be there.
You're trying to tell me that we wouldn't fit in at a table with La Befana sitting on each side of her talking about.
We'd probably do a lot of wisecracks, so she might not like that. She'd turn us into a bunny.
Probably would. Why isn't Scott at this dinner?
I don't know, but
they just said he wasn't there, but they didn't. There was like no reason why.
Yeah, she's like, I'm gonna kill him.
Yeah, but why? Like that doesn't make any sense.
I don't know. Just didn't want to be there, I guess. Bad day at the office.
Carol's continually jealous of La Befana. They're doing some like salt. This is sort of like your bowling tricks, the bowling alley.
Don't you dare compare my tricks to this.
You know, a lot of salt tricks and a lot of floating stuff. I got a laugh here when Carol tried to do the
the glass
thing. I just kind of wish the show would have had the patience to like let her
wallow
do that a little longer.
Bit.
Yeah. Like I feel like that was funnier, and it would have kept getting funnier if they would have allowed that. But nothing can last too long in the Santa Clauses, including the good times. Eventually, I don't know. It's kind of every scene with Sandra sort of just devolves into her getting mad at her parents or someone else. Ultimately, like La Befana. What is this? Isn't quite like the. Is this the La Befana's magic is inferior to hers, and they start fighting, or is that later on?
Let's see. Well, I'm trying to think now. What did my notes not say? It might come a little bit later because I don't think it says anything.
Okay, you know what? I have Carol yells and the whole thing disintegrates.
Yeah, the kids leave, and then the Carol kind of like shares her
okay.
feelings with the Christmas witch. She's honest,
Okay.
and then she says a girl may need a teacher from time to time, but a daughter needs a mother forever, which is a nice line. Mm-hmm. And it says, "Come see Sandra train sometime." And then she asks some weird questions about like, "Do I bring a broom?" And
and she says like, "You're not going to be cleaning something."
Yeah, good stuff.
Not bad.
Good stuff.
It's actually, that's like a 7 on the show. Cal and Scott, they talk. They talk a little bit about the letters. They can't respond to all of them. And then very quickly there's like, not even a montage, but it's just like, it's essentially showing how a letter gets from someone's house to the North Pole.
Someone's specific hand that we go back and see a second later.
Yeah. I actually kind of like that.
Yeah.
Scott suggests they kind of take a break from training and they go to the control room after hours. Around this time, Cal essentially leaves, but the plan is they're going to go to this control room. Scott opens an anonymous letter, and it essentially says something like, "Your days are numbered in the North Pole." It's anonymous but threatening. And then we get the reverse of the montage we just saw that shows that Olga and the Mad Santa sent the letter.
Yeah. Which, was there any doubt, I guess?
I don't know that I had thought a lot about where the letter came. Yeah, I mean, when I saw the contents of the letter, no. But I liked that filmmaking
the reveal
technique. I thought that was sort of something they hadn't done before, so I enjoyed that. I mean, I wish there would have been like an aerial shot of the table or something, but, you know.
You miss those aerial shots, don't you?
I do. The boys are playing poker, and there's an aerial shot of the table. Very few things more satisfying.
Nothing like it. You know, I went into the hardware store the other day, and I was kind of lamenting that I didn't really have a relationship with the people there where I could get donuts and coffee and such. And
complain about your wife, yeah.
Yeah, that part especially.
But then did you ask if you could become like a part-time owner?
Well, I got to work my way up to that. I've only been in there like 3 times.
That's true, yeah. Well, you'll get there. You'll get there. Salt of the earth guy like you.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, so we're in the control room. It's sort of like a bar atmosphere. Cal and Scott are sharing root beer as opposed to real beer.
It's from 1996. A great year.
It's a good year, yeah. He loves root beer, you know I love you, right? Scott says to Cal. There's some discussion earlier about whether or not he ever really reminds his son that he loves him. You know, he's very hard on him and expects a lot, but he doesn't always communicate his happiness and pleasure with his son and so on. It's kind of a brief but nice moment.
Mm-hmm.
I got to laugh here because, he says, like, "I'm proud of you." And Cal says, "I'm proud of you too, Dad." And Scott says, "Well, of course you are. I never questioned that at all." Just kind of good, sardonic Tim Allen.
Yeah, that's good. Yeah. That's good stuff. Yeah, he just really kind of slips in the "I love you" there very uncomfortably. So just that classic like dad doesn't know how to share his affection type of thing.
It's true. Yeah.
So then things are going well for Cal. So let's pop over and see what Sandra's up to, and she's practicing. Cal comes back with some news, and he's happy and all that kind of stuff. And a lot's going to happen in this scene here, including the Easter Bunny arriving. Just kind of hopping. I guess
it's just like weird. Everything with this Easter Bunny is weird. Like, I guess, I don't know. He just like kind of poofs and he's there.
He can teleport, as Easter Bunnies do. Yeah. And Carol also hears commotion going on. And then all of a sudden, right before she gets there, Sandra accidentally transforms him into a real bunny.
Yeah.
Which was cute, but not good for the characters in the show. So.
Yeah, did you like the Tracy Morgan joke where it's like, "I'm a poet and I didn't even realize that"?
He said something about rhyming just before that, too. Did I like it? Not so much. But wasn't for me, I guess.
I got the feeling that the Tracy Morgan, like, I don't think he was even in the same room with any of these people during the hallway scene.
You don't think so?
I really don't think that he was.
Oh, come on.
No, I mean, I didn't. It just didn't look like it to me. I felt like it was a separate thing. Just a thought.
All right. Well, I'm not going to go back and watch, but our audience, maybe you can tweet at us and let us know if that's a theory that you also support.
Yes.
La Befana comes in because she senses a strong magic and realizes that it was Sandra and realizes that she's stronger than she thought and says, "I think maybe we should take a step back before something bad happens." This does not please Sandra at all.
No.
And this is where it comes out where she's like, you're just, afraid because I'm more powerful than you. And it's not good. It's not a good look. And La Befana takes the bunny and says, I'm going to undo this magic. And Carol tries to console her child. So I guess Carol got what she wanted, but it wasn't what she wanted,
But at what cost, Jordan?
The cost of a bunny.
Yeah. And then for you, that's quite a cost.
It sure is.
Cal and Sandra speak candidly, kind of on I'll say it, balcony. And
careful with your words there.
Yes, careful with the word I can't think of. Yeah, so they're on a balcony. Cal apologizes for the situation with the bunny, which I didn't really feel like was his fault. I don't really feel like it was anybody's fault.
Cal's too nice.
He's a real pushover. And eventually they come to the idea that, like, Cal misses Riley, wants to see her. They have the sleigh. They, between them, feel like they have the ability to go down and see her, so why don't they just do it?
Sandra is a real instigator here. She's mad.
She is.
So
She's like Woody the Woodpecker.
Exactly who I was thinking of. Yeah. So, do you have any other notes for that scene?
No, that's all.
All right.
That was enough. That was funny.
That was too much, honestly.
Too much.
Santopolis, here we are. Mad Santa is launching. I did like this. Operation No Man's Land, which I thought was clever. They're going to send in gnomes as the shield thins around the North Pole before Christmas, which I'm not sure we've ever heard that happens before, but here we are, making up more lore. And
everybody knows that, Jordan. They don't have to present it because we all know it.
Well, thank goodness they did, because I did not. And at the same time, Mad Santa smells reindeer, which means, I guess this confirms, I didn't really know until this episode that Santopolis was near Chicago, but, it makes sense.
I think they maybe set that up in the first episode, but,
I didn't
Santopolis is out of space. It's out of space and time.
It really is.
It just exists.
It's a unique place, just like Disney World. So then we cut real quick to Cal, who is inside Riley's house, and she is livid.
Oh my gosh, she lets him have it.
She sure does. He missed her birthday 2 days ago. He says, I was busy training, and she says, you're always with your dad. You're always training. And she breaks up with him. And
then she says, boy, bye?
Well,
basically.
This was kind of a sad moment where she says, like, dust me so
dust
I won't know.
It was way sadder than this scene needed.
Yeah.
Dust me so I'll forget you. And then he's like, no. And she's like, well, I'll just forget you on my own.
Ouch. She's just, like, taking the dagger. She, like, fashioned a candy cane into a shiv and just, like, stabbed him in the heart with it,
Stabbed. I mean, we all knew that Riley could be mean when she wanted to be.
Yeah.
Like, she's nice, but she can be mean.
You don't want to get on her bad side. And he did here.
Well, that's why she dates biker dudes.
That is true. Sandra here is just kind of, like, chilling.
Sitting in the corner. Yeah. Sandra, you could just step out the hallway. Give him a little
She's in
privacy.
a real rebellious vibe right now, and this was part of it. So
yeah. All right.
Yeah.
So Mad Santa senses the reindeer nearby. Cal is mad and blames his dad, kind of. So as they're in the sleigh going away, he throws off his amateur Santa suit, essentially.
His vest, of course.
Yes. Santa, it falls off the sleigh. They kind of take off, and then Mad Santa and Olga happen upon it. He puts it on, and he instantly feels the power. And this is where I'm again asking the question, does Cal have powers or not?
No, it's just the vest. It has North
Pole.
The vest. It has North Pole magic. If you recall, it was made out of Father Christmas's coat or something. And not only does instantly he get the power back, but at the North Pole, Scott can sense something is deeply wrong.
Wakes up from his slumber, roll credits fade to black on No Magic at the dinner table, a.k.a. all hopped up on Christmas magic.
Yeah.
Yeah, Jordan, highs and lows.
Well, I think there were a couple jokes that we both wrote down and had a good chuckle at. The snow being thrown in Cal's face by that blank-faced elf. That was good. I enjoyed the joke of, I don't even remember now, the crossbow joke. And a couple things like that. So there was a little bit better writing, I think, in this episode. Overall, it's still pretty rough. Like, there's not a lot I care about. I guess I just want to see the the final moment where we get Mad Santa and Scott face off, because that's what we're building up to. It was a bit strange not seeing like barely any Noel, no Betty. Chris was gone this episode, so like a lot of key figures were not at this episode, which was kind of interesting, and it was all made up for by the Easter Bunny. But no, the Easter Bunny was terrible.
That was terrible.
That was rough, and I don't know. If I'm Tracy Morgan, I say no to that one. I think. But he didn't. So I don't know. I guess it's better than the other two episodes, but not something I was really excited to watch and excited to continue on. And you're yawning through it, so.
It's a bad show, Jordan. It's a bad show. It's a bad television show.
Don't hold back.
It's a bad television show. Highs. I mean, it's better than the last. It's probably the best episode of this season. Whatever that's worth. I got a couple laughs or some good jokes. I like the thing with Carol and the wine glass. I actually think Carol's kind of maybe had a better season than season 1. I don't know. Just enjoying her more. A little funnier. A little bit more to do. Highs. So that's a high. The jokes, there's some better jokes. I liked the letter thing where they show the letter going in the mail and then they reverse it. That was sort of interesting.
They put that thing down, flip it, and reverse it.
Exactly. Yeah, exactly. And hey, how about is it Paige the elf from the original movie?
That's her. Yeah, that's her real name. Judy was her name in the.
Judy. Hey, happy to have her show up. Obviously.
Yeah, Judy's awesome.
That was fun. And lows. I don't really care about any of the plot lines at all, which makes it hard when you're watching a television show.
Like, I don't care about the stakes, so.
Yeah, I think that the Easter Bunny thing was pretty embarrassing for Tracy Morgan, the show in general. Just really rough. I don't, hey, make money however you want, but I reserve the right to criticize it if it's crappy and stupid. Otherwise, I don't enjoy it. Contrary to what the bloggers say, I don't really enjoy the Olga Mad Santa interplay. For every good joke, 4 good jokes or something, there's a lot of bad ones, and I don't know. No Betty, no Chris, no. Lots of problems, frankly.
Yeah. Betty, no problems.
Yeah, hey, it's a little bit better. It's not like as bad as the second episode, but it's still a bad television show. So.
Yep, and we got 3 more to go. So, opportunity to redeem themselves, or opportunity to make this one of the worst series I've ever seen in my life.
It's funny. It's only 6 episodes, and the episodes are like 20 minutes, and they still are having trouble coming up with. We're just going in circles with everything. Yeah. There's no momentum. Everything is just sort of happening again and again and again. There's just no plot, really. Yeah. But it's crazy that he just now got the Mad Santa's just now finally considering getting up to the North Pole or getting close to. He
spent 3 months trying to get his magic back. Oh well.
In any case, oh well.
Do you have any Twitter notes?
Matter of fact, I do.
Okay, well, let's cue up the Twitter. Tweet.
Twitter at Home and Podcast. I got 4 polls. Kind of a return to the poll once again.
Return at the polls.
Exactly. So 4 of them. First question I had to ask: are you watching the Santa Claus's television show? Because I don't know. Is anybody? 30 total votes. 30% said no. 70% said yes.
All right. Well, fits our audience.
Should there have been any sequels to the original Santa Claus? 44 total votes. I've asked this before, I'm sure, but, as they keep making stuff, I think it begs the question. 40.9% said no. 59.1% said yes. So... fairly,
the first one was so good that you just, you gotta try, but boy, they just keep going.
Phil said, it's certainly not as good as the movies, but I do enjoy the show. Well, Phil.
Agree to disagree.
At what age did you stop believing in Santa Claus? 27 total votes. 0% said, I never believed. That's nice. I thought there might be some jaded people that said that. 7.4% said sometime before I was 5. 29.6% said 10 plus. 63% said 5 to 10 years old. That seems to be about the average age, Jordan.
Do you remember? I do not remember.
I would have held on long past 10. probably.
Yeah.
12, probably. I had an inkling from a very young age, because how do you not? But, I kind of want to believe. It's more fun to believe, so I put it off for a while.
Yeah, my daughter last year, pretty sure she was not in. And we weren't really, like, playing it up. We don't really play it up.
Yeah.
And then this year, it seems like she's back in again. So I don't know.
I mean, it behooves you to believe, frankly, just from a gift perspective. So that's what I would encourage young people to...
It was just funny because, like, last year at the end, I was like, okay, we're going to have to tell her, like,
Yeah.
just, like, don't ruin it for other people. And then this year, she's like, I'm all in. So I'm like, okay, well.
My parents never told me, and they still wouldn't really like to say
If you ask them now, they won't tell you.
They would be evasive, I guarantee. They would be evasive. They would not. Those are words I've never heard from my parents. Last poll. So I asked, when did you stop believing in Santa? And then my final poll, when did you stop believing in Tim Allen?
Never.
21 total votes. 19% said the Santa Claus 2. 23.8% said I never believed. 23.8% said wild hogs. 33.3% said today.
Ow! Today. Yikes.
So,
all right.
That's it.
Well, good return to form there. Happy to hear
Thank
it.
you.
Happy to hear a lot of engagement on those polls, I thought. So
Not bad.
Not bad.
Yeah, and there's other things I could have shared, but I didn't. So, yeah.
Well, I don't know what
Wrap
that
your head around
I don't know
that.
what that means, but I'm
Me either.
happy to hear it after I hit stop on the recording.
Uh-huh.
All right. I suppose that's it for today, huh?
Yeah, what are we covering next week?
Next week is Miracle on Dead Creek Road.
And I see Fluffy in the picture, so he's guaranteed to be in at least one scene.
Yeah, I guess that's the road Santopoulos is on, maybe.
Dead Creek Road. Could be a lot of dead creeks in Chicago. Jordan, thank you for joining me. Listeners, thank you for listening. And I guess I should say, take care.
Take care, everybody.